Okay, so I'm doing a video just for QuickBooks for this module because we have to do chapter 8, 9, and 10. And just going to go through the QuickBooks part of it to try to keep the videos as organized and as short as possible. Okay, so first of all, before you begin, you should go through the chapter and just work through the test data. It's going to be very helpful. Also, if you haven't gotten the previous chapters to work to where the trial balance looks like it should in chapters 1 or really chapter 3 through 7, then that really needs to be done. Otherwise, it's going to affect trial balances for the future. Assuming that's all been done, there's 2 invoices that need to be created. You've learned how to do that in the past. Don't forget to do this, because if you do forget to do these invoices, it will affect your trial balances in future chapters. So the first part of this, besides doing the invoices, is to do budgets. So it says to do a fiscal year budget for 2018, but you'll see there's going to be a problem with that. When you go to do your budgeting, you're going to notice for the fiscal year, you do the drop-down box. It doesn't go to 2018. So the earliest you can do is 2019. So that's fine. We're just going to go with that. So when you select that, and then you'll click Next, and you go through the budgeting process. So when we look at the budget overview report, let's look at the let me look at the custom reports I created. So this has already been done. So when I look at the report, the budget overview should look the same. You see, it should look the same as the example, even though it's 2018 and yours will say 2019. Download this and put it in Excel. You can do that using this to export to Excel. It should look the same except for the year. Now, when we go to the custom report for the budget versus actual, you should end up getting a budget that looks like this, where there's no actuals, and that's because we're doing 2019, and all of the stuff we've been putting into the budget was for 2018. So that's why it's going to look different. So yours should look like this instead of like this, where in the textbook, because they did 2018. Sorry about that. Just one of those things. They changed it to where you could go back to 2018, and that affected us, but we'll work with what we have. Okay, so let's look at the reconciliation for a second. So click on Reconcile. Now you'll see how they have this whole match your books to your bank records. This is another service they're trying to sell us. So when you click Get Started, just click Maybe Later, and then move forward from that point. So that might be a little confusing, but I just wanted to show you that so you can get past that. Okay, so once you follow the instructions for the reconciliation, you'll notice that the difference will be 0. That's how you know you're finished. Then you can click Finish Now. You can view the report, and you'll notice that the registered balance should come to $26,239.28. Statement ending balance $29,202.37. So your report that you provide should look similar to this. When doing the adjusting entries in Chapter 9, this is going to be one of the tougher chapters that you have, unless you're familiar with adjusting entries. So it's important that you first go through the chapter and get that figured out. Then when you go ahead and do this, one thing you don't want to skip, you want to make sure you get this first opening balance of your trial balance. As you see in the first part A, it says the supplies that are left over are $75 of supplies. You need to look at the trial balance that you start with to see how much you used up in supplies to end up with $75 in supplies. Okay, so I'm looking at the trial balance before I even started, and I see that I have supplies of $375, but that's before I do my adjusting entry. I see that I only have $75 left. That means I need to take $300 worth of supplies out of supplies assets. So you need to do a journal entry that credits supplies assets, and then you need to add $300 worth of supplies to the expense area. right? So, you know, down in the expenses. So $375 is the beginning amount that you had in supplies, but you used up $300 worth of supplies. Now you need to show that that $300 is an expense and that the supplies are only worth $75. So when you finish, you'll see only $75 here. Okay, a couple of more things I wanted to mention. First of all, when you get to the depreciation part F, you're definitely going to have to go in and make some adjustments to the names just to get the names to match with the trial balance. I think they designed that in to make, you know, to get you used to making changes as you go along. Not that big a deal. It's not changing any amounts. It's just changing the names of the accounts and how the sub-accounts work. Then also I noticed that in order to get the trial balance, my trial balance to look like the solution trial balance, I needed to make this consulting services for Surfrider into sales. Again, I don't know why that's the case, but if you wanted to match the trial balance, go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and look at the final trial balance. Okay, so this is your final trial balance for Chapter 9, Case 1, and you'll notice $144,494.99. Notice that in order to get the sales and services to match, I had to change that Surfriders to sales. Also, in order to get the accumulate depreciation and the original cost to work for both the equipment and for the furniture, you have to go in. I went into chart of accounts and I changed the names as needed, or I fixed the names as needed. That was the way I like to do it, is through chart of accounts. So you should get your work should end up looking like this if you go through and do the adjusting entries as they're stated. Okay, so we finally got to Chapter 10. Now, Chapter 10 is not quite as hard because all you're going to do is print out reports, right? So what you'll notice is when you they want various reports, profit loss, balance sheet, and on, and they also ask for these transaction reports. You don't have to do the transaction reports, so you know, save yourself some time there. I'm not looking for those. I'm just looking for the major reports. Let's look at one of the reports just so you can understand. So what they're trying to get at is that you can drill down on anything in one of the reports, which is pretty cool. So you know, you go down into inventory assets, drill down into it, and you can see the things that are going on, and you can even drill down further. So you can say, hey, something's weird with this, and you can drill down to the actual transaction. So that's what they're trying to get at. And you can even make adjustments. Let's close that down and go ahead. Let's go back to the book. So just print out these. Now, listen to this part carefully too. So you'll end up with, you know, a profit loss balance sheet, statement of cash flows, accounts receivable, and accounts payable, and inventory summaries. So that's, you know, however many that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reports. Okay, so if you go to these, we can put them all, instead of sending to me a bunch of files, what you can do is you can put them all together, and I'll show you how to do that. So you're in profit and loss, and let's say you want to put this with the balance sheet. So you right click on the tab at the bottom and you say move or copy, and then you click to the balance sheet and then create a copy, and then you just click OK. Now the balance sheet has the balance sheet and the profit and loss, and you can put all 6 of them together and just send me one file. And this is also something important. I'm not going to be trying to get you, I just want to see that you can create the reports. I'm not going to grade you on the amounts. So if your amounts are off from previous chapters, you can, you know, breathe a sigh of relief. At this point, at least, it's not going to have any impact on your grade for Chapter 10. So I just want to see for this chapter that you can get the reports done. I hope that, you know, is good for you. So I know we had a lot to do this week, and we had chapters 8, 9, and 10. Chapter 10 was pretty easy. Chapter 8 wasn't too bad because it was the budget and it wasn't too bad. But Chapter 9 was the real bear. So that's the one that you really need to focus on and give yourself plenty of time. Hope this was helpful for you.